Hello, people of YouTube. This is Outlaw Tanker here. I'm going to be starting a series called Beginning of Prepping. So, with this first episode, it is about a 3-day survival setup for staying in your home. This is used for earthquakes, natural disasters such as hurricanes, or just your plain old power outage. So, this is for 3 days. Say if your water's not running or anything along that line. So, let's kick this off with the most important part of survival is water. On average, people can only survive about 3 days without water. So that would say about a gallon a day would be the safe bet per person in your house. So if you're one person in your house, have 3 gallons stored. If you're 2 people, have 6. If you're 4, have, I believe that's 12. Just have it stored in your house one way or another. If that means you have to go buy yourself, actual gallons of water, or buy yourself cases of water that equals up to that amount. Just make sure you have it on hand. I buy the Ozark Trail pretty much water jerry cans, so you can fit, I believe it's about 5 or 6 gallons of water. I picked it up for, I think, $12. Clean it out, put clean water into it, because clean water is actually more important than just storing regular water. You want to be able to drink it. If you can't afford filters, boil the water before you drink it. That is just something you should do. You could also get water purification tablets at Walmart. You can pick them up for about, I'd say, $3 to $12, depending on the time of year and where you're at. Then here comes to my favorite, the LifeStraw right here. You could pretty much filter up to 100,000 gallons of water. I do believe when you buy these, they come with a bag, so you can just put water into it and drink straight from this. Or you could be all high speed and take your water, get something to modify where it can link up to this, have it at the bottom, and it'll filter the water through here, and you should be able to drink clean water for your family if you can't store water or something happens to your storage. I believe that this right here cost around, I think, $20 to $30, depending on where you're at. I see Amazon has deals on them all the time. Cabela's or Bass Pro, I believe, will also have it. There is a larger one that is more, or actually less expensive than this. This is a compact one that I just carry. So I think the one that it's like this much longer. So I just carry this in my bag everywhere I go. After water, you want to eat. Food, like I said, 3 days of food. I would say about, if you could get canned goods, store them. I mean, non-perishable should last you long enough. By the time they expire, by the time they get close to expiration date, you eat them. You get new ones in. You just store them for 3 days for everybody in your household. So, yeah, if you want to be a little bit more high speed, go ahead, pick up some MREs. They last up to 10 years, but just look at the expiration date. I know that some MREs last longer than 10 years. Way longer. I personally ate MREs that lasted way longer than 10 years. But then on the other side, I've also ate MREs that are younger than 10 years that are also bad. So you're taking a gamble on that, just like anything else. But for the most part, most MREs will be perfectly fine. You could also get freeze-dry food. I believe Mountain House is the name of it. There's a whole bunch of them that you could buy. And with that, you can pretty much pick up like a whole container that should be able to like actually have real foods ready for you to go, like prepped meals. That's more costly. That's like your most expensive option. I think that's less expensive than MREs for long term. Like, it costs more in the beginning, but your MREs will be 12 in there, so that is one thing per meal. I've seen people go off of 1 meal a day. I could do that. 2 meals a day would be your best in a 3-day survival situation. which, again, this is not supposed to be your extreme situation. It's supposed to be a natural disaster that kind of gets you stuck in there for a couple days. If it's so extreme that you need to leave, you'll get a bug out bag to leave. But we'll discuss that in a later video. So food is very important. Next, after food is, you need to be a way to cook some of the food or be able to light up your house. Candles are an excellent way of heating up like canned goods. During hurricanes, I lived in North Carolina. We used to open up our oven, place candles on the lower rack, and then place our canned food on top. So we used to cook corn that way. I remember that. So it does work. Also, candles light up your house. Flashlights are very important. You don't want to go stumbling around in the dark. So what you could do is go to Walmart. There's Ozark Trail flashlights. They're about $1 for like a little plastic cheap one. Pick yourself up like 5 or 6 of them. Never have enough. You could also pick up headlamps for the same price. They're all Ozark Trail. They should usually be in the camping section of Walmart. Ozark Trail is amazing. It's very good for budget. Some of their stuff is cheaper, and obviously like a plastic flashlight, you throw it or drop it, it could break, but it's $1 for a flashlight. It's actually pretty decently bright. They do have other equipment that I will, do reviews on later. So with that, you could also get, there's certain lights out there that I believe that are hand crank, that you could pretty much produce your own light by just, elbow grease pretty much. Also stock up on batteries if you're going to have battery powered lights. Next is communication. Radios are very important. You want to get yourself a hand crank radio over a battery one. Some of them even have a charger port, so you can put your phone charger into it, so you can listen to pretty much whoever's broadcasting. They might tell you, hey, evacuate this zone. There's flash floods in the area, or there's possible that this place is just going to get messed up. You need to leave. So you link up with wherever you're supposed to link up. So we're going to go to the protection section now. Protection along the line, we're going to start off with first aid. First aid is very simple. I picked up this kit from Walmart. I believe it's like a $12 kit. The motto says, be smart, get prepared. You can live by these words. I definitely do. It's a very amazing kit. I kind of broke it open just to show you guys some of the items that they have. From simple, bandages and stuff, but they have alcohol wipes, like a lot of them. They have, you have burn cream. That could help out. And this right here, to me, I found is like the most important item in there, if you ask me, is antibiotic ointment. I have not seen many first aid kits with that. Antibiotics are hard to, not say hard to come by, but you can't just go to the store and pick up antibiotics. It doesn't work that way here, not in America. And then I would say trauma kits are very important. Get yourself a small trauma kit. I carry a tourniquet everywhere I go. Actually, I carry about 3 or 4. I carry a bag everywhere I go that has like a whole setup. With that, just learn how to use all this. You don't want to be the guy who stores all this stuff and then when it comes down to it, hey, how do I do this? Go to your Red Cross or get in touch with them. They might have classes in your area, or they might be able to point you in a local, place that trains you on, basic trauma care and first aid, CPR. That is a very important thing to practice. So moving next to the protection, I would get yourself some way to protect your family inside that home. I advocate firearms. If you can, due to your area in the world, but I live here in the United States. If you're 18 years old, pretty much every 18-year-old in almost every state could pick themselves up a shotgun. You could pick them up for any 12-gauge shotgun. You could probably pick up for around $80 to $200, depending where you go. If you can't get that, there is alternatives to firearms, regular firearms. You could get black powder firearms, which is no background check. It's not going to be like, hey, put a magazine in, you go. it's muzzle loaded, so it's gonna take time. But I'll do further videos on black powder firearms and how it's a good alternative if you cannot get your hands on a regular firearm. Again, this is for self defense. That can mean a stray animal, like a raccoon trying to hurt you, or a stray dog that's trying to bite you. I do not advocate violence, but I will say that, hey, when it comes down to protecting my family, I will do whatever it takes. I will not just stop at it with a shotgun or a pistol. I will go take whatever tool I need to protect my family. Um, Leading on to families, though, I would say if you have kids in your home, I know most kids here are not used to staying off on electronics or not being busy, but get yourself some like family fun items. Get yourself a deck of cards, play goldfish with the kids, go play poker with the other people, play solitaire if you're alone. Um, get some kind of board game for your kids. This is not like a have to, this is just a suggestion if you have children. I do not personally have children at this time, but when I do, I will definitely have enough to keep them entertained. Um, Also, be prepared for coldness. When it's cold, just have some, like, you should have blankets already. Uh, but just be prepared because when power goes out, when it's raining, it actually gets colder. Uh, During hurricanes, that is. Because I remember it was always cold during hurricane season. Plus, it's usually in the fall, so I'd get wrapped up in a blanket, stay in your room, or whatever. Um, just be prepared. Later videos will discuss more of a bug out bag. If you say, they say, hey, time for you to leave this area, it's time to evacuate. Please listen to the authorities when they say, hey, it's time to evacuate. I know everybody sees the Florida man going around with the American flag, waving his mullet in the windy rain, waving the American flag, blasting Metallica or Slayer, but, don't be that guy. Don't put your life at risk. People care about you. People love you. Your family loves you. Don't put your family at risk. Um, just listen when it comes to evacuating an area. Take your important items if you can. Um, Almost everything you own is replaceable. Your phone, your electronics. Well, take your phone for sure. But, almost all your, like, toys, as you want to call it, your Xbox, your TV, that could be replaceable, but your family cannot. So please, for your family, for your safety, whenever there is an evacuation order, take it seriously, gather up what you need to do, and go where they tell you to go. They're not doing it because they want to tell you what to do. They're trying to do it to protect you. So with that being said, this is the conclusion to my video is, hey, be prepared for 3 days. From 3 days, we're going to add up to maybe a 5-day survival kit, maybe to a week. We're going to work together to come up with a system to effectively, cheaply create a self-preparedness for every single family that we can help out. Do yourself a favor, take this information seriously if you can. Little here and there. Don't go to the store and buy everything you can at once. If you can't afford it, buy the important things first. Water's important and first aid's important. You should have food on stock, but if you can't, just slowly stock up. Buy a little bit of food here and there. So, with that being said, have a good day now. Take care.